morning, everybody. It's Tuesday. So I did make notes, but although I planned to, make my video immediately, as usual, it didn't work out that way. It's been like, I don't know, 2.5 hours ago, so I don't know if I'm going to remember what I was talking about when I made my notes, but we will try. So it's been snowing here for the last couple of days, and the power did go out for like, I don't know, 5 hours or something yesterday. It's stayed on so far today. Let's hope that it stays that way so that I can, upload my video. And let's just hope that it stays on, because frankly, it's not going to be enjoyable if it does not. So let me see. What have I got? What have I got on my list? It has mostly stopped snowing. It's mostly rain now. The snow has started to melt, but there may be more snow coming. I don't know. So we'll see what happens. Let's hope that it does not get, too bad. Oh, there was I remembered something after I made my video last week that I had meant to mention in the discussion about foods, about like brands of things, how I can eat some brands of things and other brands I cannot. The other thing is that sometimes, this sounds really weird, but it is true. Sometimes you can eat particular sizes or like particular kinds of packages of something, but not other sizes. Like, for instance, I recently discovered there is a brand of chocolate chips that I can use. But I recently discovered that they're smaller packages that they're like regular, like 12-ounce packages or whatever they're, I cannot use because those, for some reason, have different ingredients than the like large bulk size packages. Why? I don't know. Who knows? Sometimes it's to do with something that's like manufacturing or packaging related, as opposed to like actual different ingredients, or something like, the best example I can think of this type of thing, which is just absurd and so frustrating, is literally the only kind of yeast I know of, like for making bread or whatever. Literally the only kind of yeast that I or anybody I know of in the corn community knows of that we can use is specifically Red Star dry active yeast, the kind that comes in the little foil packages of like 3, like a strip of 3 individual, like individual serving type things of yeast. You can't use the stuff in the jar, and you can't use the stuff in like the like bulk packages, the like 1 pound packages. You can't use those. You can't use any of the other versions, even of the same brand. You can only use the one that comes in the little foil strips of 3. And the reason for this is that the stuff that they use to keep the yeast from going bad in the jars or in the bulk packaging is corn-based. And so the only stuff that you can use is the stuff that comes in just one little individual sized packet. So yeah, that's yet another like ridiculous thing about the way that food works if you have corn allergy. Super. So okay. Notes. I made notes about your video, Phoebe. So first of all, like I'm glad that the hypothermia issue is resolved. Like, I'm glad that you did not get sicker, and that you're okay and everything. When I think of hypothermia, for some reason, the first thing that comes to mind is when Kate Winslet gave herself hypothermia. I mean, I shouldn't say she gave herself hypothermia. She didn't. I mean, she is not like directly responsible for the hypothermia. When they were filming Sense and Sensibility, because there's this scene at the beginning of Sense and Sensibility where she's out in the rain on the hillside and she sprains her ankle and etc. And she, like, they had like heavy underclothing and stuff for her so that she would stay warm, but because she was getting drenched in the rain, it showed underneath her costume, so she refused to wear it. And then she spent all day like out in the pouring rain, and ended up with hypothermia, and they had to go and like put her in a, bathtub of warm water, and like there was a whole thing. And for some reason that is what is stuck in my head when people mention hypothermia. I don't know why, but that is it. So yeah, I'm glad that you are well and feeling better and don't do that anymore. So let me see, what have I got on here? Oh, my booster symptoms. Yes, I did much better this time. I only was sick for like a couple days, and it was a lot better because I had the ibuprofen this time. Yay, yay for the ibuprofen. That was truly excellent. I do absolutely recommend it. Yeah, so I was only sick for a couple days this time, so it was much better than, the 2 weeks that I was sick last time. So yeah, I don't know if it's because of the smaller dose or if it's just like if I just didn't have as bad a reaction this time, or what. Because the first time I didn't have, any reaction really at all. I had a sore arm for my first dose. It was the second dose that like really hit me. So I don't know if I just had a different reaction this time or if it was because of the different size of dosing or, who knows. But yeah, it was much better this time. Yay. Let me think. You were talking about just eating cookies for breakfast, and actually I did have a cookie for breakfast this morning. I almost never bake or anything because, again, it's a fatigue issue. Like I just don't have the energy to do it, and also it's an ingredients issue because trying to find ingredients for things that I can make is a problem. But sometimes I can sort of, if I'm really careful about what recipe I use and I'm like do some sort of scooting around with my ingredients, I can sometimes make things work. And I do have a recipe for flourless oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. And it is really nice when I have the energy to make something like that, which generally happens like maybe once a year, but it's nice when I have the energy to make something like that, because then at least if I make a big batch of cookies, then when I'm really, really tired and like I need to eat an actual meal, but I don't have enough energy to eat a meal, I can eat like a cookie, and then that kind of gives me a little extra time to sort of build up enough energy to make an actual meal. So yeah, it's nice, but it is kind of a problem because again, it requires like a lot of like figuring out of ingredients. Like the reason that I'm using this particular recipe is because it's flourless, which means that I don't have to grind my own flour from rice, not the same rice that gives me the headaches. And like the rice grinding is a whole extra like thing because I have to wash the rice first. I have to go through like a multiple washing step to get, any like sort of lingering corn from manufacturing off it. And then I have to dry it because it can't go wet into the grinder, so it has to go into the dehydrator so it can be dried. And then it goes into the grinder, which is like a, big, like, separate situation. And then I have to, like, go through this whole step of grinding all this flour, and it's, like, just, it's really exhausting. It takes me days to, like, because I have to do it in steps because I just don't have that much energy all at once. So it takes a long time, and it does not get done very often. So I can't grind enough flour because it takes me so long. I can't grind enough flour to bake things that use a lot of flour very often. So yeah, it's a whole thing. But you are right, eating cookies for breakfast is an excellent way to start the day if that is something that you are able to do. I would like to do it more often, frankly. I'm glad that the laptop reminder worked out. I like that. I feel like this is a fairly efficient way, sort of doing things. Like, I feel like it works for me. So yeah, we can do that if we need to. I'm glad that we got to see all your stickers and stuff. I was gonna say something about the stickers, but I don't know what it was, because that was too long ago. So yeah, I don't know. I have forgotten whatever it was I was going to say about the stickers, but like, I'm glad that we got to see them. Thank you for showing them to us. I enjoyed the Rachel's Muda story. I feel like you have not mentioned it recently, I don't think, unless like I have just completely like had a terrible brain day and just like totally forgot that entire video or whatever. I don't think you've mentioned it recently, but I vaguely remember the name Rachel's Muda, so I think you might have mentioned it previously at some point. But I don't think it was recently. I enjoyed the story though. I have written ADHD meds on here. I wonder what I was going to say about them. Oh, it might have been because like you can't get meds for ADHD unless you have like a diagnosis. And that is the only reason that I really myself would like to have a diagnosis, because I'm like, a lot of the people that I follow recently have had, like within the last couple of years, have had like an ADHD diagnosis and have been through like, you know, getting their meds adjusted and everything. And like so many people for whom this is like a new thing have been like, it's so great. Wow, meds, my brain works, neat. And like, I would very much like to try medication and see if it helped, because if I could use my brain a little more efficiently, it would be very helpful for me, because like, because I have so much fatigue and because I have so much brain fog, if I could use my brain a little more efficiently when it was actually working, that would be really nice. But like, I'm never going to get an ADHD diagnosis. Like, I'm just not ever going to happen, because like, it's expensive to get diagnosed with ADHD, first of all. And like, also you have to get your doctor to like pay attention to you, to send you in to be diagnosed. And like, we all know that's not going to happen, because that's not how doctors work. You know, like you said, doctors like just don't listen very much. Even honestly, the doctor that I have right now is you know, comparatively compared to other doctors that I've had, she has been pretty good about like listening. Not totally brilliant, but pretty good. Comparatively much better than most of the other doctors that I've ever had. But again, doctors just in general are not great at like actually listening to their patients or paying attention to anything that the patient is trying to tell them. So yeah, I feel for you. I don't know if there was something else that I was going to say there. Probably there was, but I don't know. I've forgotten it now. Oh, the Caribbean thing, that is totally legitimate. Those are two completely legitimate pronunciations. If you look them up, like in a dictionary, both pronunciations will be there. That is very difficult for me to say today. I also say Royal Caribbean and Pirates of the Caribbean, but I think that's because of like TV ads for them pronounce it that way, and I have just taken it from TV. But yeah, those are both correct pronunciations, so you're fine there. I have written typing on the phone, and I do remember that there was something that I was going to say specifically about typing on the phone. Oh, maybe I was going to show you my thing. That's what I was probably going to do. I think, maybe. Let me find something where I can show you how the thingy works. I have a weird keyboard on here, which is not like, it's not the, there we go. Okay. See, it's like, it's called the Messages keyboard, and I don't know. I don't know if I have shown you this before or not, but like you if you're lowercase, you can make a circle, and it will, I don't know if you can see, it will give you that. If I don't know if you can see these. So where the smaller letters are, like the Y there, in order to get that, you just go at a diagonal, and then it gives you the Y. There's a whole, like, there's a little bit of a learning curve, although not as steep of a learning curve as you would think. I got it not because of the thumb typing thing specifically, but because I needed a keyboard that would let me type in Esperanto, and none of the regular like default keyboards would do that. And this is the one I ended up with, and then I liked it better than trying to type on the regular keyboard. You can also, like, you can adjust the size of it, so you can make the, let me see if I can remember how to do it. It's not doing it on here. Oh, there we go. So, like, you can adjust the size so that you can make the buttons bigger or smaller. So you can have, you know, larger buttons in a smaller space, and I find that a lot easier to deal with just generally. But yeah, most of my problem is because my thumbs are weird. I didn't have a cell phone back when you had when you had to press the button like 4 times for an S or whatever. But I did have something, I can't remember what it was. It was some kind of like, I didn't have any like really like fancy tech, but I had something specifically. Maybe it was like some kind of a, I want to say a calculator, but calculators don't have letters on them. So I don't know what it was. Some kind of like weird little cheap gadget that someone had given me, I think, but I can't remember what it was for. But yeah, you had to like press each letter like 800 times to try and get to the letter that you wanted, and it was really a pain. It took forever. But it wasn't very useful, whatever the gadget was, which is why I don't remember what it was, because I didn't use it. But yeah, so I have a weird keyboard on mine. It's also nice because you can, I don't think I have more than one thing on there, but you can set it up for, you know, more than one language, so that's nice. It's really easy to flick back and forth between different languages. What else have I got in here? I've written about holding the phone, but I don't know why I have written about holding the phone. I don't hold mine with my pinkies, partly because, again, I have to type with the other hand, so I just hold it in my hand like that. Trying to, like, keep track of where I am on my list here, and it is not working all that well. I'm having a hard time keeping track of where I'm at. Your candy chocolate exchange thing sounds really fun. And I agree with you that it sounds like it would be extremely fun to get a piñata, even a really tiny one. I think the only actual piñata I have ever been involved with was once when I was like, I think I must have been maybe in like 5th or 6th grade. Somebody, like a friend of mine, had a piñata at their birthday party, I think. And I don't even remember what shape the piñata was. I remember largely that it just did not go very well, mostly because the person who was like running the piñata wouldn't let anybody hit it. They were just constantly moving it out of the way. And so they finally had to get one of the parents to come in and just be like, would you stop doing that so that we can break the piñata open, because we are really tired of doing this. So yeah, that's my piñata experience, is just that one thing. I think I don't think I've ever had any other piñatas anywhere. But yeah, your candy exchange thing sounds really fun, and it sounds like a good group tradition to have. So I think that is everything on my list. I don't know. Could be. So yeah, this is like a 20-minute video. I just keep getting longer. All my videos are getting like longer every week. That seems bad. So yeah, I'm gonna go. I need to post this anyway, just in case, the snow situation. So, knock on wood. So, yeah, so I will see you all next week. I hope. I love you very much, and don't forget to be awesome.